What's happening? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Hope all is well. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in from all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, TikTok. And yeah, I don't know what we're going to talk about today, but I'm glad you're here. So I guess let's talk about evaluating businesses or buying businesses, because I guess that's the subject we was on. I was, discussing with an individual earlier about selling his or her business, and they was wanting to know what it's worth. And the individual said, "Well, is a business worth more or less contingent upon the town and the equipment?" And sometimes the answer, most times the answer is no when it comes to the equipment. The equipment should be included in the asking price. The equipment is just part of doing business. Sometimes people will factor in inventory. So if you had to maintain, say, if you wanted to buy a sub shop or a donut shop, or say you wanted to buy a restaurant, and that the food or the supplies you have to buy from the owner. They won't include the inventory as part of the asking price. But generally, the equipment, which is the FF&E, furniture, fixings, and the equipment. So furniture, tables, chairs, uh, fixtures, the light fixtures, the you know lighting, the hood vents, and the equipment, cash registers, the oven, the preparation tables. Generally, that stuff is included in the purchase price of a business. And a lot of people feel like since they paid a certain amount for it, then this should be extra. No, it's just a part of doing business. A lot of times, whenever you factoring in the multiplier for a business, you know, when you factor in the multiplier for a business, you're not going to look at the equipment. Generally, you're not going to factor in the inventory either. It's pretty much the asking price versus the seller's discretionary earnings, SED or SDE, seller SDE. That's pretty much what defines the multiplier. And the crappy part about it is, I've seen certain industries go for a ridiculous multiplier, and I've seen the same industry go for a super buyer friendly multiplier. So it's really subjective to the seller and the buyer. A business is like anything. A business is worth what a person is willing to pay for it at the moment. So if you have a business and the multiplier on that business is a three multiplier, you're making $250,000 a year. So it's a three multiplier. 250 times three is 750. So you'd be selling this business between 700 and 800,000. And you say, well, I want $2 million for it. All right, cool. Throw $2 million on it. If some clown out there in the world wants to pay $2 million for this crap, then sell it. And if you know it's bringing in $250,000, and the multiplier should be 750, but you want to sell it for 500, which is a two multiplier, and somebody wants to pay for it, then sell it. It's what the person is willing to pay for something, and a lot of people overlook. They kind of put a lot of emphasis on multipliers when in actuality it's really just what a person really willing to pay for something. You know, and me personally, I don't even care about multipliers. I don't even look at it. I don't care what the industry standard for something is when you buying a business. If I can service my debts and recoup my down payment and pay myself a salary, then I'm for it. Anything other than that, don't care. If I buy it for $1 million and the payment on the million is 100,000, and it brings in 150, then the 150 comes in. My payment is 100. That's $50,000 left. But I put $100,000 down. That means I'm negative $50,000 year one. That's a dud. That's a dud. I make no monies. I lose $50,000 from my initial down payment. And the only person that makes money is the person who bought it, who I bought it from, and the person who and the government when I get pay them loans back. Those are the only people that make money. And I think that's more important than a multiplier, which the industry standard states, oh man, you should be at this price, which is all subjective. That's all of that crap subjective. So whenever you are evaluating a business that you want to sell, you need to understand that yes, you do want to make money, but the person who's buying it wants to make money and be profitable and have a living off of the business that you're buying. And a lot of people don't think of it like that. A lot of people are like self-centered and greedy. So a lot of people always say, I built this from the ground up. You don't do that much. I want 8 times multiplier for this shit. And I'm just like, all right, well, wishful thinking, have fun. No one's buying this. But then and then also too is when you sell things, you have to factor in or you think about things like this. If I sell this business, how much am I going to pay in taxes? Because a lot of people don't even think of it like that. A lot of people always say, man, I want to sell this business. And it's going to net me $1 million, but capital gains tax or income tax is no joke on $1 million. Let's just say you at 30% or something. That's $300,000. Wow. Do you want to pay $300,000 in taxes? I like Uncle Sam just like the next person, but hell no. There are strategies that you can do when selling a business or even buying a business that you can reduce or minimize taxes. But you have to learn these things. You have to be taught these things because people aren't just going to tell you how to do these things. First of all, are you even asking the right questions? Do you even know who to go to to find this stuff out? And is the information creditable too? Or people just out here saying shit just to get clicks and views? It is what it is. But welcome in everybody. Just kind of testing the water, see how y'all doing. YouTube checking in. If y'all are on any social media platform, let me see who we got in here. Got a couple of people from YouTube, a couple people from Twitch. But appreciate y'all being here. It's easier, YouTube pays me to be here. So if you want to click the link in the bio, stroll up there and go to YouTube and watch. I greatly appreciate it. Actually, YouTube questions, I actually see a whole lot faster and they're right in my face. They like pop up on my screen. So I prefer to get my questions from YouTube. It's a lot easier. But since I guess we're on a business subject, let's talk about wanting to buy, I guess, your first business, okay? Because there's a lot of people that come to me and say stuff like, man, I want to buy my first business. I don't know where to start. I want to take over something that's already existing. I don't want to be there. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay. We'll talk about that. So first thing you need to establish is that you want to do it, right? It's just you have to say or commit to the idea of wanting to buy a business. And I tell people to turn off what you want and turn on the process of doing it, because wanting a business should take precedence over what you want. It's good to have ideas, but once you start evaluating certain industries and breaking down certain numbers of particular businesses, a lot of times something else will pop out to you more so than what you're than what you want. Because like I said before, a lot of people say, "Yeah, I want a laundromat," and then they start looking at laundromats and they're like, "Are these any good?" And I say, "Okay, cool, let's break them down." And we start looking at the numbers of laundromats, and you go, "Well, damn, these kind of suck." And I say, "Yeah, they do suck." You start looking at laundromats around the world or around the nation. Man, these all of these suck. Yeah, I always use the analogy of Jordans. You go to Foot Locker, you see Jordans for $100, but they have a limited amount. Some sneakerhead coming in and buy every damn pair, and then they take them to a shoe convention or eBay, and then they sell them for $300. And you're like, well, damn, I just wanted $100 pair of shoes. Yeah, well, now you got to pay 300, which is kind of jacked up. You buy them, people buy them and think they're sitting on a gold mine, and then they try to upsell them for more than what they're really worth because people are in love with the idea of laundromats. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a group of individuals that's sitting on a large amount of liquid funds who just goes around and buys up mom and pop laundromats and then upsell them for a ridiculous amount of money. If I had a crap ton of money liquid just sitting around, I probably would do that because everybody swears up and down by laundromats. And as soon as you start looking at the numbers, I see laundromats. I get like a business newsletter from multiple different people, and I get tons of different businesses. And I get one from not the laundry source. I forgot what it's called. It's the laundry something. And I get probably pitched or sold or looked at probably 5 laundromats a week. And all I do is stroll down and look at the numbers. And I'm just like, yo, this sucks. These suck. And then every month I look at the same letter and it'd be a different one on there. So either someone they're taking them off or someone's buying them. And I wish I could sit down to anybody, especially laundromats, but almost really anybody. If anybody ever wants to buy a business, I wish I could sit down with them for at least a half an hour and just say, yo, this is what you need to be looking for, right? Don't be in love with the ideal of, man, I want a laundromat. I can make it so pretty. I could paint my machines gold. It could be a cool, hip area. I could do fuck that. Does this shit make money, man? That's what you need to be focused on. Do it make money, right? And is it sustainable over a long period of time? And a lot of people truly don't understand that what they should be spending for these, but people get stuck on stupid. People think that what they're buying is um, cool because they're in love with the ideal of something versus what they're paying for. Another good analogy is when you see people who buy like Hellcats or Scat Packs or Challengers or Chargers or any of that crap, and the car is 50, $60,000. They're paying 17% interest. Their payment is $1,200, $1,500 a month, but they're so blinded by the fact that they got a Scat Pack, they're not looking at the finances and the damage they're doing to get into it. Right? I mean, it's the same thing with laundromats, right? If people are hell bent on a certain object, a certain business, oh man, I want an apartment complex. So you're gonna overpay for an apartment complex because that's what you're hell bent on. Oh man, I want a laundromat. You're gonna overpay for a laundromat because that's your idea. Oh man, I want a Scat Pack or a Hellcat or a Track Hawk or all that crap. And then now you're stuck on stupid, thinking that I'll do anything to get in this car. I'll do anything to get into this apartment complex. I'll do anything to get into this business. When in actuality, that business, that car or that apartment complex is super overpriced and it's not worth half of what you're going to pay for it. But yet, you're going to do it anyways because you have an ideal in your head and you think that me being persistent and me going out for my goals and me going out for my dreams and me, striving for what I want is the way to do it. But you're just going about it the wrong way, right? And then sometimes, you got to tell people that shit's dumb. That doesn't make sense, right? And then once you look at it from a numbers perspective, once you look at stuff like that from a numbers perspective, it'll always stand out as a bad idea or a good idea. And once you start looking at the things from a numbers perspective and you're just like, damn, I can do this. This makes sense. If you look at it, it's like, oh man, I guess I can make this work. If you say some shit like that, then no, man, it ain't for you. This ain't for you. right? You don't know what you're doing. You need to sit down with a professional and learn how to evaluate businesses. You need to learn how to evaluate apartments. You need to learn how to evaluate vehicles and all that kind of stuff, right? And then I was talking to, I had posted a video on, I think it was Instagram, maybe, and it was me talking about a guy. It was like a 25-year-old guy who bought a Hellcat or a Scat Pack, and he spent $50,000 on it. He was 25 years old, and I said, "Well, why would you buy a $50,000 Scat Pack? We could just invest the money, and you'll be rich in the next, 25, 30 years or something like that." And you know how, and people so freaking ignorant. Well, what if he don't live to be 50? Okay, idiot. What if he does? I mean, we can go hypothetical all day long. And then the bad part about it is I ain't never, right? Even in my adult life, I have never not is a double negative, but I've never looked back on something and been like, man, that experience that I overpaid for was totally worth the money I spent on it. Not ever. I've never looked at an experience that I overpaid for and said, man, it was totally worth it. I can't. Every car I've had was not worth it. Think about it. What car have you purchased and made monthly payments on was worth it? I've had $1,000 car payments. I bought $5,000 cars for cash. You know, the crazy part about it is I bought a car and it was, let's say, $1,000 a month for 72 months, $100,000 car. And the bad part about it is right before the damn thing's paid off, it started acting up. Right before. And I said, okay, cool, let me just get another one. Buy another $60,000 car. 5, 6 years later, right before that shit started being paid off, it started acting up again. So I'm thinking to myself, why do I keep buying this shit? Right? And I've never been like, man, I feel so cool driving this car. All I'm thinking is, damn, I got to pay this $1,000 a month in the first. That's all I'm thinking. And a lot of people don't see that as a problem. They see it as normal. And people in the comment section say dumbass shit like, well, he needs a car. Yeah, he needs a $55,000 Scat Pack. Who need a $50,000 Scat Pack? And I put him at 8% interest. 25 years old. Come on, dog. I'm sure he popping every bit of. I had him at 7% when I did my payment. I had him at $790,000 on $50,000 over 6 years. I know he had more higher than 7%. Hell, I'll be happy to get my credit's damn near spotless, and I'll be happy to get damn 7% in this damn economy. Shit. For a used Scat Pack, get the f out of here with that shit, man. There ain't no way. No 25-year-old kid deserves a $50,000 Scat Pack. Right? Get you something to get your ass from A to B. Get your 15-year-old Honda Accord with 80,000 miles on it. Pay $6,000 for that shit, and you grind it out for the next 5 years. And then after that, after you saved up $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 that you would have spent on this stupid ass car, that you put this into an ETF mutual fund, index fund, you got $80,000 in that account, then you go buy a Scat Pack if you want to, right? But now that money that you would have put into the Scat Pack, you put into an investment account, you just sit back and let it ride. Now, 30 years from now, you'd be sitting on 4, 5, 6 million bucks. Instead of you being like, you know what? I was 25 years old. I was cool. I did donuts in the parking lot. When I revved the engine, it goes, zing, zing, zing. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Nobody cares, man. You can't be the king of the block forever. You can't be the king of the block forever. I almost see being cool as like being a banana. When you first pop up and you start being ripe, everybody wants you. Leave a banana on the counter for 2 weeks and then tell me you'll eat it. Same thing with that scat pad. It's cool for a couple months. 6, 7 months, you cool as fuck. Year one, nobody cares no more. Nobody cares. But you know who do care? FICOcenter.com or whatever the hell you finance that damn car through at 17% interest, your $1,200 car payment, they gonna care, you know. And you know what's crazy is that people, the most, this is what's crazy. The richer you are, the less you care about materialistic things. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then the bad part about it is what things that you care about financially when you don't have money, rich people is the exact opposite. Like I give you a great example, right? I was at a buddy of mine, and this guy's rich, right? I mean, rich. I mean, a couple million a year, rich. And he said, "Hey, man, you want to come over and sing some karaoke? I'm having a get together. You can come over, bring the family. I'll cook out and stuff like that." So we get over there, and I'm thinking he probably got that little, that little bass, the little boom box that you go to, like, you think you go into like the store and you get the little boom box with some random ass songs on it, like $40 at the dollar store or some shit, or a Big Lots or something. No, this dude had like a Moshigi 1500. And I mean, I'm looking at this. It had like a touchscreen display. The panel was freaking this wide. I mean, it was huge. It came up to my damn lap. It had mics that had retractable cords, and I was like, "Hey, man, this is the nicest karaoke machine I've ever seen in my life." He said, "Yeah, man, I really wanted the nice one." And then it hooked up to the screen, and then the words popped up on the screen at the display, and it was touchscreen. You could stroll through different songs, different genres, and stuff like that. It had built-in speakers on it, and then it connected to the TV via Bluetooth, and the words read on there, and then it would have like people dancing to the words on the screen. And I was like, "This is the freaking nicest karaoke machine I've damn never seen in my life." So I sat back and I took a picture of it and I Google searched it. That shit was $4,600. $4,600 because he wanted to sing karaoke, you know? And it's crazy because, I mean, it's just a different level, right? The car in the parking lot was a damn Honda Civic or something. Had a damn, 2020 Honda Civic. Probably spent no more than 12 grand on that shit. But the karaoke machine was 5 grand. But when you got it like that, your priorities just a little different. When your priorities are different, you invest in different stuff, right? I don't know. That's just what he wanted to buy. But, it's all good. Just $4,600. Hope he's not watching. If you watching, man, comment, say, "Yo, tell me how much you paid for it." If you are watching, which I doubt. Because I'm curious, because I did look it up when you wasn't looking. And they said $4,600. They said there was 2 models. I think you had the Mac Daddy one. It was between like 35 and 46. What it is. All right. Anyways, enough of that stuff. Yeah, so from my personal experience, a lot of rich or wealthy people they don't splurge on cars. It's just, unless you're really into like supercars and stuff like that, like they have daily drivers, and it's bullcrap. Like my daily driver is a Honda Fit, 15 years old, 80,000 miles. I drive that shit everywhere. Do I want to drive the nice cars? Nope. They suck on gas, and I don't want to scratch them. If I go somewhere nice, drive a nice car. If I don't, okay, cool. I'll sit in the garage. I use my sister as an example too. My sister has, not bragging, maybe comically $400,000 worth of cars. and she has a 2008 Honda Accord. She drives everywhere. It has it's ashy. It has sun stains. It has a donut, two hubcaps. It's like three different colors. $400 to $500,000 worth of cars, and drives the Honda everywhere. Right? She go to an event, she'll drive the nicer cars. But why? It's crazy. It's crazy that you can afford the stuff and you still don't even want to use it. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird. But anyways, man, I'm on a rant. I don't want to hear that. Okay, so cool. Well, what's going on in y'all world, man? I gotta get off here for a meeting here shortly, so I'm not gonna stay here too much longer. So what y'all got going on? Uh, so how y'all doing? What's the word on the street? Because you know, I'm only as I only know what y'all tell me because it's so, out here it's so weird. But I don't know. I don't really. I'm kind of out of touch because I really don't talk to a lot of people. I don't know what's going on in the world. I know it seems like everything's like a struggle and everything is like harder than it is, especially it being like, and it seems like the country's always divided with politics and the have and have nots. It's kind of weird, right? What is my day job? You must be new here. Well, glad you asked. Um, I used to be full time active duty military. I did that for 21 years. I retired. While I was in the military, I did 21 years. My sixth year in the military, I bought my first piece of real estate, and I used zero down payment. Well, I saved up 10,000. Then but I didn't use any of it. I bought it zero down, and then I said, well, shit, I could do 0% down, and then I rented it out for 1,500, and my payment on it was like 9.25. So I was making 575 a month. I was like, well, shit. If I did it once, I can do it twice. Bought the first, second property, then I bought my third, I bought my fourth, and I spent the next probably 5 years buying up pretty much any and everything around me. So once I did that, I started making more money buying and selling houses than I was being in the military. So what I did is, because the military doesn't like you to, they don't like conflicts of interest. So for example, let's say if the military is paying me, the military was shit paid, right? Let's say if I was getting paid $2,000 a month or $1,000, $500 a week or something like that. $2,000 a week or $2,000 a month. That's, I don't know, $24,000 a year. And let's say if I, $2,000 a month. Let's say if I had 5 rental properties and the 5 rental properties were paying me $400 a month. That's $2,000 a month. So 5 rental properties was paying me the same amount of money as being in the military. And let's say if I sold one of those properties and I profited, 40 grand or 50 grand. Well, shit, I made twice as much in one sale of a property from a flip than I would in 2 years of military service. So after I just kind of got a hang of that, I try to keep my money silent. You know how hard it is to be making more money than pretty much everybody on your military establishment, and you really can't say shit about it because they'll kick you out or they'll say something, and people judge, man. When people are making $24,000 around you, and your sergeant or your majors or your captains are making 50,000, 55,000, and they coming in with their nice little shiny trucks, and I'm pulling in with better cars than them, making 3 times as much as them. I'm bringing home 100 grand a year. People start to hate, and they start talking shit, and they always got something to say. So I came to the realization that I got to keep this stuff on the under. I just never really talked about what I did. And then I started kind of hiding my income. I started driving shit boxes because people hate it. Especially when they say, you know, yo, man, I know you make money because the way you talk, how much you making? And if I kind of gave them a little synopsis, then they start judging me. People are your friends until they know that you're doing better than them, than your enemy. Ooh, that's a quote. Woo! I could put that on a t-shirt. People are your friends until they know you're doing better than them. Now they're your enemy or they envy you. No lie detected. Bars. Because people are happy for you, people are rooting for your success, but people really don't want to see you succeed. They're saying, hey man, good job. I see you on the podcast. I see you on the lives. I see you on the TikToks. You really be talking about that stuff? Yep. How much money did you make doing this? Last month, I don't know, 27,000. Get the fuck out of here. Show them your bank account. They don't fuck with you no more. Or then they'll start asking for money. Oh, give me a, why don't you? Or then they'll start telling you what to do with your money. Well, you drive a piece of crap Prius. Or you drive a 4x2 pickup truck with 4 different colors. Or man, you drive a Honda. Why? I know you can afford it. Stop being so cheap. But you shut up. I don't tell you to do with your money. If you want to go out here and spend $1,500 on the damn F-150 and be struggling every month, that's your choice, right? I don't tell you what to do with your money. How about this? Sell that piece of shit ass Ford and get you something decent and reliable that's half the price with no payment on it, and you don't have to worry about it. And then you can invest your money. Or what really bothered me when I was in the military is I would show people how to do stuff, and then they just do it. You know, people want guidance, but people don't take your guidance. It's almost like they're hearing you, but they ain't listening. Hey man, you need to probably go into this account. You probably need to buy a house. You probably need to invest in this. You probably need to start looking into this. Oh man, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty smart. 6 months later, nothing, bro. Anyway, so anyways, back to the question at hand. I was in the military for 21 years, served multiple wars, lived over all different places. Oh. And then I started buying a lot of real estate. And then I had a decent units. This is where the game changed. This is where I went from doing okay to doing like baller status, right? I don't really, baller status is kind of subjective too, but I was playing golf, and I was with my neighbor who was a professional golfer, but he's retired. It was 2 other guys with him and another older guy, which was his friend. But the other 2 guys was the more relevant. I asked them, hey man, what do you do? He said, oh, I'm a real estate investor. I said, oh man, I invest in real estate too. He said, oh, I said, well, how many units? We call them doors in the industry. How many doors you got? I kind of started talking about my stuff. He's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I was like, that's cool. Like, oh man, that's cool. That's cute. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean that's cool? I said, what about yourself? This mother clucker talking about I got 30, either 31 or 32. I think it was 31 or 3,300 units. Or doors. So you got 3,100 doors. He said, yep. I said, get the fuck out of here. Dude, you're like 29 years old. And he said, well, that's what I got. I said, man, get the hell out of here. You ain't got no damn 31. He's like, yeah, I do. And I said, all right, whatever. And I started talking about like how they do it, like burst strategy, syndication, wholesaling, fix and flip, syndication, lease options, commercial, multifamily, and he knew what he was talking about. And I was like, okay, yeah, this guy's not fucking around. So then I started talking to the other guy, and he says, I'm in private equity. And he said, I said, what does that mean? I said, I've always heard that term, but I don't know what that means. He said, private equity is just buying existing companies and holding them for a certain amount of time and then selling them. And he said, and I said, like, do you just Like you just buy them and then pay them off and then you sell them to someone else or something? He said, no, but once you understand what businesses should be selling for, once you see something that's underpriced, then you could just buy it. And once you buy it, you put some systems in place, you make it more profitable, and then you sell it for what it's worth. Right? And a good analogy, I'll always do this. Let's say I'm y'all comment y'all cars, right? So the first person who comments their car, I will do the analogy that he gave me. He said, yo, man, what kind of car you got? So I always like this analogy. So I'm gonna kind of break this down for you, how private equities buying something undervalued is. Okay, someone said a Mazda. Okay, let's say your Mazda is worth 10 grand. Okay, it's worth $10,000 all day, all over America. Okay, and you said, I want you to start looking for Mazdas for sale. You said, okay, cool. You start looking for Mazdas, your year, your mileage, your color, whatever. 10,000, 11,000, 10,000, 9,000, 9,500, 11,000, 10,000, 10,500, $4,500. Wait, if I was looking and the average Mazda was selling for between 9 and 11,000, and I see one for 4,500, that's half the price. Hey, what's going on? Why are you selling this? Right? Man, I got a court date. I'm going to jail. I got 4 years and I need to sell this ASAP. Hey, man, I'm getting a divorce. I need to sell this soon. My wife's trying to get this money and I got child support. They're going to take me to jail if I don't make this payment. Hey, man, I just got in a pickle. I have to move across country. I need $4,500. I got an extra car. I can't do nothing with it. Ding, 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 ding. Now, you know it's undervalued because you know what they go for because you've been looking for them. So what do? You buy the shit. Okay? And then you take it to AutoZone. You put you an air freshener in there. Put you some floor mats in there. You get some Armor All and clean the seats. Clean the dashboard. Now that shit is worth 9,000 to 11,000. Now you sell it. Hey, if the average cars are going for 9,000 to 11,000, you put it back on the market for 9,100. Someone's going to come along and say, yo, this is $1,000 less than what everything else is selling for. You say, I fucking know. You put it back on, and then you sell it to him. Oh man, I'll give you 8,800 for it. Deal. Because you got 4,500 plus $200 worth of damn upgrades. You sell it for 88. You got 48 into it. You make $4,000. Rinse and repeat. Same thing, but with businesses. Let's say there's a Dunkin' Donuts for sale. You got a Dunkin' Donuts. You know what Dunkin' Donuts are going for. Dunkin' Donuts, yours is worth $500,000. You start looking for other Dunkin' Donuts, $500,000, 510, 490, 500, 490, $300,000. Ding, 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 ding. Hey, what's going on? Why are you selling this? Oh man, the owner of this got really sick. It was my father's. He got sick. He's on his deathbed. He don't want to deal with it no more. He just want to sell it, liquidate the funds, and then give the money out to his kids before he passed. So we just trying to sell it at a good price to get rid of it. Cool, I'll take it. Go get a loan for it. Boom. Hold on to it for a year, year and a half, 2 years. Sell it for $500,000, and it's cash flowing. So now, let's say you hold on for 2 years. It's bringing you in $200,000 a year. So now you buy for 3. You make $200 a year. That's $400. So now you positive $100,000, and then you sell it for $500,000. So now you make another $200, and so now you up $300,000. Anybody can do that shit, people. Anybody. You just got to know how to do it. And he broke it down to me just like that on the fucking the backside of the ninth hole. And I said, fuck, you were 100% right. I said, man, I need to start learning how to evaluate businesses. He said, treat me to lunch. You seem like a cool guy. I got you. His time was way worth more than lunch. Way more. And then his brother works for the State Department that assists people for buying businesses. His brother taught him how to do it. And he worked for the State Department. And I said, yo, man, you work for the State Department. I know you just on government stuff, right? I mean, can I just come down and we can hang out or something? Man, I brought him lunch. Man, I got there like 10 o'clock. Man, I left at like 3:30 in the afternoon. We was talking for like 5.5 hours. And dude, he put me on all the game. Your network is your net worth. He put me on all the game. And once you start sitting back and looking at private equity and real estate like that, cool. And then I asked the 3,100 unit guy. I said, hey man, how'd you get money for 3,100 units? I got a loan from a bank. I got a buddy that will loan you as much money as you want. I have a buddy that will loan you as much money as you want, but you got to take the chance. It's not cheap money, but you can get whatever you want. I called the guy. He said, I'm gonna give you his number. Don't waste his time. Do not waste his time. I called his ass. Hey man, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? You trying to get some loans? Yeah. Can you tell me more about it? Man, I ain't got time. But I'll send you an email. Click. What the fuck? I looked at the email. He said everything I raised him, he wants 10%. It's like, fuck. All right. You know, and I was like, 10% is expensive. I'm not paying that shit. And then I called the guy that had 3,700 units. And I said, yeah, man, this dude trying to charge me 10%. He said, you want the fucking money or not? He said, I'd rather pay 10% of it something and have the money, and then I can put that to work, or have 0 of 0. It's your choice. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. And then I sat around. I tried like, yeah, I can just raise capital cheaper than this. I tried it, and I said, I can't do this. So then I went, I used the guy. I called him and said, yo, I'm ready. Let's just do it. I don't give a fuck. Man, it was like 3 weeks later. I had $127,000 in my account. And I said, let's go. $127,000. Let's go. So then I started looking at real estate and private equities. And then it was just off to the races. It was off to the races after that. I just used the skills that I had from real estate. I used the skills I had from real estate a while back. And then I also used the skills from, they taught me in private equity and raising capital and all that kind of stuff. And I swear to you, I was doing good. I probably was bringing in military money, about 50,000. I was still active duty doing this stuff too. You know, so people say, I got to work and stuff to do this stuff. I was like, you an idiot. Like, there's no way. You still can do it. You're just making excuses. If there's not a person in the world that tells me they work more than full-time active duty military, there ain't a person in the world. I'm pretty much called 24/7. I'm working 12-hour shifts doing war exercises and stuff like that while on the phone with conducting, $100,000 deals in a bunker. You can't tell me. No excuses. Don't want to hear that shit. And I was probably bringing in $140,000, $150,000 a year between the real estate and my full-time job in like 2000. And I had a decent amount of properties, but I wasn't bringing in that much money. And then after I did that, I shot to the moon. I was gone. Then I started, after about 2 years of taking that money and just flipping it, then I started having like 6-figure months. So 6 figures, the most I've ever made in 1 month, if the IRS is not listening, $350 a month, which it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Allegedly. It pretty much catapulted my business, right? So for those people that thinking they're out there, they can't do this, so they want to do it, but they can't, or they don't know how. I'm living proof that this shit works. Homeless, joined the United States military with a toothbrush and a book bag. I turned that shit to $1 million empire, 6 figures a month. I'm living proof that this stuff works. I'm living proof that if you knew what you were doing, you had access to the material, you had access to the know-how, you had access to the capital, you can make it work. You just need to take action. So there's a link in my bio. I'm having a free class that's coming up. I actually have a meeting here now that I'm going to go to and, talk more money deals because that's what we do around here. But if you're interested, click the link in the bio, join the free class. But if you're not, oh well, I'll be here waiting and just sitting here doing my own thing, stacking all this money because there's a lot out here. You just got to go ahead and get it. But I appreciate your time, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Make sure you're following on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all those social media platforms. Thank you for watching, and hope you found value in this. I hope you're inspired, and I hope you go out there and pursue your dreams. And if you need help with those dreams, you always got a buddy. You got a friend in your boy. You got a friend.